Hey guys, welcome back to more Fire Emblem Heroes content. Not a whole lot to talk about. And bear in mind, and just a little disclaimer, I am doing a separate video on Gangrel and Emran soon. I don't want to say tomorrow because that's commitment, but hopefully tomorrow. This is basically just who's on the banner. That being Anna, Sairi, Mustafa, and Mirabilis. I don't know how to say your name, but I will try my best. So, first thing to note, for Anna, super runes and HP and speed. HP not really being too interesting, super banes not mattering past one merge. So going into this, 172 BST, so she is very usable in arena, and I did make preset builds to save some time. So first build I looked at was basically, yes, I know her attack, or her weapon gives her +5 attack and speed if she's up on HP. So my goal was giving her sturdy impact and low attack speed, mostly the low attack portion, because she can't take that much damage. Granted, you could run something like Close Call, but that's even more premium, I guess. But that's my 2 cents. Sturdy Impact just gives you as much defense as possible, and then you can proc Gale Force with Flashing Blade, and you're super pumping up speed. Pretty much trying to get Gale Force, and then with her weapon you can teleport. You basically have ground orders always active on this specific unit, so she can really go anywhere she wants. The next build is a Flashing Blade 4 set that really buckles down on speed. So you see Swift Sparrow and Seal. Flashing Blade 4 just gets every little bit of speed. Granted, it's pretty overkill in my opinion, and that's why I did not go for everything speed. Granted, I'd definitely switch it to Close Call, but nope. Definitely switch that to Close Call, and then you're pretty set there. But this build is very speed based, just all out, not caring. You could probably run something like Times Pulse if you want to proc Go Force on something that you can't counterattack. Something that can't counterattack. Going next is really taking advantage of her weapon. So her weapon is teleporting to anybody that is within 2 spaces, and then you can it's like a Wings of Mercy effect, or no, it's an effect, frankly. I believe that's why they did that. And you can use that to super activate bonds. She has attack speed bonds 7 and no follow up, because that's what, 5, 7, 52, 12, 64 speed. With the spear, it's 69, and with drive that hits +3. Is it 3 or 4? I think it's 4. Anyway, it's a lot. And then no follow up is just to stop things like that are very annoying and stopping follow ups, because she has no auto follow up, so no follow up's nice. And lastly, if you get a one-off, and I'm going to be doing this for all of these, if you get a one-off, this is supposed to be joint drive speed. You can honestly just run base kit with Flashing Blade and Luna and just get it done. That's all you really need. If you want to be like a little expensive, you can run a bond. There's several units with bonds now. Attack speed bond isn't really available outside of Luis, but for those of you who don't really want her, she's always there. Moving forward, we have Sairi. So that is the wrong build. So she also has 172 BST, hits 175 with a merge. Introduce sword. This is very contested, but I actually think she's pretty good. Granted, like units like Fallen Ike I think are better, but she's still very flexible, and she has base 40 with a super boon of speed. So the first build I have is also with bonds. It's very, very defensive. It is also attack speed bond 7 with times pulse and blue flame. So if you don't know, her weapon gives cooldown -1, and if you have above 50% HP, then you have distant counter. And so what that told me was cooldown -1 plus times pulse is a 1 cooldown blue flame. So you get hit, and then you pop back with 25 plus whatever you're already doing. And if you think you're doing enough damage, because that is, what, 56, that's almost 70 damage, you can just run like soul or something that's healing. And just make sure you stay above 50% HP. So that's my opinion on that. Next we have the Kestrel Stance build. This is pretty much solely enemy phase, but it has Panic Smoke just in case it wants to initiate like one time and then allow everybody else to try and attack with panic skills and that much like on enemy phase. Rush the Sky, turns into 1 cooldown, you get hit, proc, and if they're auto doubling, you get hit, proc, get hit, proc. So she has the ability to proc twice. Then again, you can run her in AR with this set, which is kind of interesting in my opinion. It's taking mostly, you can run this on most Ikes. Mostly fallen Ikes, and hence Darting Breath. But you pump her speed enough, you give her breath, so you can give her Warding Breath or Steady Breath or anything else like that. I just chose Darting Breath. But cooldown -1 makes it either 4 charge, Special Spiral makes it makes it 2 charge every turn, and then she gets hit, the breath effect, or you can run her with Lucina. I didn't forgot to mention that you can run her with Brave Lucina. Get hit, take 2 down, you have Ether ready, and then you heal back into her weapon's range. Pulse Smoke is essentially just there to prevent infantry pulse things. I don't know, I like it a lot. It's probably my favorite skill. If you haven't seen my Twitch, that is my sub badge currently, link in description as always. And lastly, if you get a one-off, not a whole lot of special things you need to do. Run Moonbow, easy, 1 charge, proc, simple as that. You can run Glimmer if you want. I just find Moonbow easier to use. I put Attack Smoke if you want to be a little more, but not even premium, just Death Smoke works. Swift Stance, also not necessary. The only reason I chose it is I would probably run Steady Posture, but you just want to get her speed as high as possible for close call. That's how I see it, at least. 135 BSC Infantry, not a whole lot to talk about. Very, very contested. I still think Larce is better, but moving on. We have the 4-star focus in Mustafa, who I full-heartedly thought was an armor until I was making this video, and I tried to put Special Fighter on him and it didn't work. It's probably too late for me. I started recording this video at like 2:30. This is 5-star sets. Here's 4-star sets. Pretty decent unit. Unfortunately, it's very similar to units like Echidna, also 172 BST. So units like Echidna, Ross, you'll see that very similar. Granted, most people already have one. I myself have a +6 Echidna right now. But the one thing Echidna has going for her is speed. So unfortunately, I can't really recommend this unless you like super need res. But even then, that's a push. So this is pretty much the first build. If you're going through the defined codes and you decide that you want Grail, then this is a very easy choice. You get a 500 SP special, tier 4 A skill, and a good weapon. Granted, he comes with a weapon, but Faithful Axe is really good. It's pretty much just a bond. It's a Omni bond for +3 if you're next to somebody. Fury 4, really pretty good at the very least. Takes 8 HP, which it's a lot, but you can survive. Wrath is a little premium. You can get it off Astrum now, but it's still a good skill. Joint Hone Defense, I just put it there because I think it would be best. You can run literally any other tier 4 C skill. You can run a Threaten. You can try and salvage speed. You can run a Speed Boon and turn attack speed. Like, the world's your oyster with this unit. I also gave him a bond to the seal, but that's not necessary. I just use it to stack with his axe. But pretty much not too fast. He's hitting 34 with maxed out everything and Fury. So I wouldn't super invest into speed, but you can if you want to. Speaking of speed, so this is the set that I would recommend running with Brave Lucina and something like AR. So I would run this in light with the res buff and speed buff from Aaron Peony. Pretty much just running your Lucina like everything else. You give her a double drive speed, give her a link, and you're seeing him hit something like almost 50 speed, if not that. Hack-a-lantern is to just have guard without needing to use a real skill. Like, A skill is very occupied, C skill is pretty good. You can run something else like a lull. Just how I see it. This is exactly how I'm running my Echidna. I have her with Wogun. Or no, I gave her the next build, but we'll talk about that later. You can probably change this to repo or something like that. I had the rally from the last thing. This is pretty much just how to score well in arena. So I just gave him a random double rally. But yeah, this is pretty much just trying to stack as much speed as you can with Swift Stance, Brave Lucina, so on and so forth. You are getting hit and replying with Dune Time. And I used to run this with something like Wogun or even Giant Spoon for 1 more might if you don't care about codes. It's good, it's true damage, 10 true damage, and healing every turn. So, not a whole lot of complaints there. Next is if you don't want to rely on Brave Lucina and you want to rely on yourself and only yourself, you can run this build, which is Huge Fan. So Huge Fan, if you don't know what that is if you get a buff, it's from the Groom Hinata from the Bridal Banner that ended today, I believe. But Huge Fan, if you have any kind of physical buff on you, and then you basically get a breath effect and a +4 to attack and defense, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty much just eliminating the need for Brave Lucina, but you're not getting the stats, and you have to run this weapon as opposed to something better. Pretty much all the same skills. Distant defense, because you're probably not doubling anything because you're not getting speed buffed. Probably. Distant defense, just to, if you're getting doubled by a mage, at least make it 3 times 2, not 9. So that's just my mindset. He has surprisingly high res if you stack him up this much. It's 46 pre-buff, and that's before AR buffs as well. And lastly, and I know nobody's going to be super, just like, I'm not gonna promote one, but if you get a pity break, that sucks. But I don't know why you're pulling for green on this banner regardless, but I put this here. This is supposed to be Barrier Axe. It's not in the unit builder yet. Plus res, give him Fury 3, renewal, pretty basic stuff. And give him Sturdy Stance to help him proc his bonfire, attack smoke if you want to bait him with somebody. Nothing too special there. Just trying to get things going, and not take too much damage. And when you do take damage, you still have renewal, so shouldn't be too poor off. Lastly is the new mythic unit, who is an Astra dancer who provides res. So I believe she has a speed super bane and an HP super bane with a no super wounds. She's 157 BSC, but that shouldn't mean a whole lot. Red Dwarf flying exists, and she's a flying dancer. You shouldn't have too high hopes for her BSC regardless. But yeah, I didn't know anything about this unit's stats prior to this video, or prior to my stream actually. And I was pulling all red. I pulled the 5 tickets, and I pulled every red orb I saw, and I pulled one of her, and I was very happy because mine was it was minus attack, which was a little suffer, but it was plus speed. And granted, her level 1 stats are level 1 stats, like you don't know. But I thought plus speed was really good because she was a pixie, and I thought she was similar to Peony, or at least her stat spread. And Peony was a super quick, like agile unit that I really liked. So I was hoping she would be similar, and being plus speed would be good. But minus attack plus speed, debatably, if probably not even debatably, the worst IV set you can get. There's really only 2 builds for this. You're either running a flyer ball or you're running a not flyer ball. So first of all, ground orders, you want that. Ground orders, aerobatics, really good for rally trapping. If you want to keep a unit in the corner, then you can give them ground orders, and they can go almost all the way to the front. You can dance them, and then using Whimsical Dream, which grants attack plus 5 to units within 2 spaces of the target danced, and attack minus 5 of units within 4 spaces of the for foes within 4 spaces, I believe. And I was worded a little weird, so I could be wrong about like within 4 or with the, I don't know. Regardless, her base kit's honestly really good. Fort Def Res, Sebo Def, I forgot what her C skill. Her C skill is not that useful, if I remember. Yeah, Def Res Gap, it's not great. You're gonna want ground orders. It's just useful. Aerobatics, just to, if you have a corner unit and you can't reach them ordinarily, you can warp to them with aerobatics, and then they can just destroy a unit with like a from the corner rally trap, which is super useful for any AR defense team, which is exactly what this unit is made for. If you don't want to run that, if you want to run a fireball, which I believe will be making a return, I saw something about fireballs really being very underutilized, especially with this new unit, because there's characters like Ashnard, Young Minerva, just really good units that we didn't previously have back when fireballs were super popular. So you can do something like ward flyers, still keep sabotage defense. You can run sabotage attack if you want to, but sabotage defense is base kit. Any sabotage really works, depending on what kind of team you're running. Most fireballs in general are usually physical. Flyer formation and seal, just so you can keep the sabotage. If you, for whatever reason, need somebody else to have fire formation and seal, you can give her like a ploy and seal, and fire formation and B, but I don't really know why you would do that. Iceberg is really just there to, it's true damage. It's a lot of damage. She's not very fast, so you work with what you have. Not doing a whole lot. And yeah, really quick video. I was way too tired to do the other units. The distribution of of Emran was very strange to me. She's a quest like Kaze. I don't know if or when she's going to be added to the pool, or if she'll be added to the Grail pool, which will make a lot of people sad. Gangrel. Kind of unfortunate, he has 166 BST, meaning he can get to 169 but never 170. Granted, those are pretty low scores anyway, and that's using a dual skill. And with every unit over here hitting 175 with a merge, 170 is kind of outdated. But she has Res Opening at 4-star, and he has Panic Ploy. I don't remember what her 5-star skill is, but he has Chill Attack. Granted, he has a pref, she does not. I should be making a video about them sometime soon, I'm not really sure when, but until then, I hope you guys have a fun time. Don't forget to check out my live streams, link in description, and if you haven't already, join my Discord. Usually pretty fun in there, and I'm trying to do Pokemon stuff soon. Getting that in the works. But yeah, see you guys.